Hi, I'm Jeff Murrah, and I want to welcome you to Healthy Marriage Tips, where I share things that will help your family and your marriage get healthier. Now, today I'm going to be dealing with the question of why can't I move past guilt? Guilt is a common experience with people and in marriages, and many times folks get stuck wanting to know, how can I move past it? Because it's almost like guilt weighs you down and keeps you from doing things that can make your marriage healthy. Well, one of the first things I would say is confusion, because people confuse guilt with convictions. There's a big difference there, and also shame. These words hit on some similar feelings, but there's some difference, and it's not just psychological gobbledygook. First of all, let me go ahead and address shame. Shame is about you are bad, and people talk about shaming for this or that, and some shame is healthy. I won't say all shame is healthy, but some shame, it's part of what keeps us in line and keeps us from doing things that we could regret later. But in terms of guilt and conviction, guilt is more that sense of emotional wrong versus conviction, where you have actually crossed a line, broken a law, and done something seriously wrong. Now, one reason for this confusing of things is that we come into adulthood carrying learned guilt from childhood. It's almost like our parents said that you should be guilty, and they load us up with a bunch of it as we head on into adulthood. And although they gave us guilt, they never taught us how do you deal with it. And so you're left with a big stinking pile of guilt. Which is not much fun to deal with. And guilt is also a very effective control system. A lot of times people will try to make you feel guilty in order to control you. Now, in the next few sessions, I'll be talking more about guilt. Now, one thing I can share with you is that anxiety is when you're thinking of possibly doing something wrong, and this is what you experience before things happen, whereas guilt is what happens afterwards. So we need to separate some of the things that aren't guilt from guilt before we start talking about how to deal with it. And I welcome your comments or stories about the type of stuff that you're dealing with. You don't have to spell out in detail what kind of guilt that you struggle with. Just give me some general idea, and we'll deal with it. Like, for instance, guilt about things in the past, guilt about what you're presently doing, feel guilty about what your spouse is doing, feel guilty about what your kids are doing. That level of generality. But we're going to be focusing on guilt, so if you want to know a little more about it, tune in over the next few days, and we're going to be talking about it. So until then, this is Jeff Murrah wishing you best regards. Goodbye.